live every Tuesday with The Drive. The Drive brings together people, places, and ideas and organizations that can inspire us, motivate us, and move us forward. We start the show every Tuesday with a mindful minute, something to kind of motivate you. Today we're talking about entrepreneurship, leadership, and moving our community forward. You know, people often ask me, what does it take to be a leader? And it really takes a lot more than just words. It's actions. So for today's Mindful Minute, I came up with 5 things that you can do to prepare yourself. We all need a little reminder. Build a little exercise into your day, whether that's parking your car and walking, taking the elevator, or actually committing to maybe yoga, cycling, the gym. You've got to role model it for others. Of course, eating a good breakfast, and we can talk about visualization, again, all day long. But what I like to do is prioritize my day. I start off with a little mindful meditation in the morning, which does include some visualization, but I write out the things that I'm going to do. And I write them out as if they're actually happening. So I'm going to have a great show today with a spectacular guest, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, I make my day top heavy. So I start off every day with one thing that seems the most daunting and I get it out of the way. And then I'm more mentally prepared to lead the way for others. So I hope you'll take some of these tips in your mindful meditation and use those to help others move forward. Again, join us every Tuesday here on the HN Network with The Drive. Motivate yourself, share. We appreciate you spending this hour with us. We'll be right back.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Make your St. Patrick's Day truly authentic with a wee bit of real Irish food, proper Irish-style rashers, sausage, and soda bread right from Ireland. Put down the corned beef and grab a boiling bacon to have what they really eat in the Emerald Isle. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Welcome back, everybody. It's The Drive here on the HN Network. We talk to people, places, and ideas and organizations that can motivate us and move us forward, individually and as a community. And the Mindful Minute highlighted leadership. We have an incredible guest today who is the executive director of the Klein, a 1,450-seat facility right here in Fairfield County, one of 7 theaters left in the state of Connecticut that is the size of a Broadway theater. Laurence Caso is an Emmy award-winning producer, theater manager, executive developer, and so much more. Welcome, Laurence. I'm so glad you joined us today.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, the things you have going on at the Klein are just mind-boggling.
It is.
But before we get into the Klein, I really want you to tell the audience a little bit about your background, because it was so extensive and so incredible. I have to be honest, I could not get it all jam-packed in before we started today. You were in New York as the VP of
Daytime programs for CBS television.
So tell us a little bit about that experience alone. I mean, that is quite an extensive history.
Well,
in
yeah,
television.
I was actually in charge of everything from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m.
Right. So you never slept?
A mix of game shows and soap operas, and yeah, we had to squeeze that in along the way. But it was 4 soap operas, and I kept up with every script and was giving notes on all of them and the casting and whatnot.
That is just incredible. And in and around that, tell us a little bit more about your background.
Well, my background is I really got struck by lightning when I was a junior in high school.
Seriously?
I knew then that, figuratively, I knew then that I wanted to work in program development at CBS. It all came because of 2 gentlemen, Hal Holbrook and Mark Twain.
Wow.
My junior year in high school, CBS put on Mark Twain Tonight that Hal Holbrook did. And I laughed so hard. The next day in the student library at school, I checked out Mark Twain's autobiography. And that set me on a journey, lifelong. I've read just about everything that's been published.
Talk about visualization. Wow, that's incredible. So how did you get to CBS? I mean, that was like you didn't wave the magic wand and just show up there. There must have been tell us about the journey.
Well, I went to college and I majored in television and radio, and I got my master's degree. And life is a set of circumstances and coincidences. Senior year at Syracuse, I was all set to go to Indiana for my master's. I had a choice. I could either rent a house with 5 of my high school buddies for one last soiree before we hit the real world out on Cape Cod, or I had gotten an offer my last semester at Syracuse, knowing that I wanted to work with actors and writers. I figured I better take an acting course.
Yeah.
So I did, and I had to do a semester-ending project. And what did I do? I did my version of Mark Twain Tonight, because I knew the material.
Yeah.
So I dressed up in a mustache and a suit and sprayed my hair white, and wouldn't have to do that today. And I did it, and they all liked it so much, they asked me to come back the next weekend and do it. And a professor there ran a summer program at the Berkshire Theater Festival in Stockbridge, Mass. And he asked me if I'd like to do that and earn 3 credits toward my master's. So on a whim, I said yes, and I did it. And 3 weeks into the season, the new artistic director at Berkshire, who had just started, fired the company manager, and he hired me.
So how long were you in the Berkshires? I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in the Berkshires, so you're like a Berkshire boy now.
I love the Berkshires. I was there for 3 summers.
Okay.
March through September.
Terrific.
Was really, but that artistic director had just left a job from California. He was the head of development at CBS.
Wow. Okay.
So for the next 2 summers, it was just brain-picking time.
Yes.
And we'd go out to lunch, and I'd say, when you were putting Hawaii Five-0 on the air, what were you thinking? How did you make that happen? And he would just fill me in with all the scoop, and I was just very prepared. So when I got out to California, I wrote a 40-page analysis of every show in the 3 networks in primetime and sent it to the 3 network presidents, and CBS created a job for me.
That's called resourcefulness and leadership. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you were at CBS for how long?
I was at CBS as a program executive from 75 through 88. I worked in specials here in New York and did the daytime and did series development, comedy and drama series out in California for 3 years.
Wow.
And then I started producing As the World Turns on CBS. I left my job as head of daytime and took over as executive producer of The One Show. And I did that for 7 years.
Make it sound so simple and easy, but I'm sure that took quite a bit.
It was a great leap. It was like going from the parent who dispenses the allowance to the kid who goes out and spends it.
And so what motivated you? Like, where do you get your motivation from? Like, what kept you moving through all these currents to pursue that journey?
It's kind of in your motto here. For me, it's always been about people and ideas. I think television is nothing but people and the sharing of ideas.
Right.
And I have always wanted to be a part of that on a mass scale. I was very struck in Syracuse, that 1934 Telecommunications Act, where it was written that broadcasters have a responsibility to serve in the public interest. I took that to heart, and I think that everything you do should make a difference.
I agree. I could not agree with you more, actually.
That's really what has infused the work that I've done and kind of guided me in the decisions that I've made along the path in my career.
So you leave CBS, and then where do you go?
Well, after As the World Turns, I went out on my own. I formed my own production company called Shoot the Catfish Productions. And quickly after that, I got a call from the Jim Henson Company. They wanted me to produce a new series for them. And I did 2 seasons of a show called Donna's Day.
Ah.
And we did 52 episodes. I'd say a quarter of them had a Muppet in it.
Oh, okay.
Our last one, we got to work with Kermit, which was great fun.
That's great fun, yeah.
And since then, I've done shows for a documentary for the History Channel, show for the Food Network. I'm currently midway through a production of a documentary for public television.
Well, we're open to all the tips you want to give us today. As you heard me behind the scenes, I'm sort of a newbie to this, especially compared to some of your strategic background. So tell me what brings you to the Klein.
Shortly
well,
after
first
my
of all,
wife...
they're very lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Thank
I mean,
you.
great.
I feel blessed to be there. I walk in that building every day. I feel the history, and it's a combination of feeling the history and knowing that there's something to do for the future.
Yeah, we've got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But shortly after my wife and I moved to Bridgeport, I met someone who was on the board of directors at the Klein, and when she heard about my background and interests, she asked me if I'd ever consider joining their board, which I did in 2010. And about 4 years later, we were ready for some expansion, and the board came to me and asked if I'd consider being the executive director.
So, was that an easy decision?
You know, it actually was.
It was?
It just felt right.
Okay.
Because I saw what we could do there. It was poised for growth. And
So from board director, you jumped right in.
yeah, I jumped the fence again, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I'll give you a statistic that my second meeting as a board member, I asked the board, has anybody ever counted how many days a year this building's in use?
Yeah.
It was 65.
Which isn't that many.
In 2016, 340.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
I read the 65. I did not read you had it up to
340.
340. Well, that's no small feat.
Well,
we know.
It's about people. It's doing the outreach and encouraging people to take a pride and ownership in this beautiful building.
Which belongs to our community.
It does.
Of course, Bridgeport, but not just Bridgeport.
No, we serve the region.
You serve the region. So where's the furthest that you're bringing people in from, would you say?
Some of the rhythm and blues concerts that we've had in the last year have been drawing them from Boston and Springfield and even New York City.
Wow. Congratulations.
But the heart of where we draw from, I would say, is Greenwich right through New Haven.
So what does it take to jump into jump the fence, right, and actually roll up the sleeves again, and move from 45 to 360 or 65 days to 340 days. What does that take?
Well, it just takes.
I mean, you're talking about 6 times the effort.
Physically, it means that now every more successful we are and we book another act, it's another day off the calendar of my life. But
Less sleep again.
yes. But no, what it is about is encouraging people to realize that the Klein was an underutilized asset, that it's there, it was created by Jacob Klein to provide a gathering place for the community, for the performing arts, on an affordable basis. And we have approached it that way all along. I think one of the biggest steps we took was in 2013, when our board put together its first strategic plan. We decided to start an after-school program, an arts education program for Bridgeport students, where
And it's called?
It's called After School at the Klein, ASK.
ASK.
A-S-K. And it's a wonderful program. We're just finishing our 4th year, and we've increased enrollment steadily, and we've grown with different components so that it's Bridgeport middle school and high schoolers receiving instruction in music, dance, acting, and now technical production taught by our professional stagehands.
I mean, you've got some incredible people that help you teach these classes.
We do.
Because in my research, I have an art background myself, and so I know that art is being taken out of our public school systems, and the National Endowment for the Arts, and I could go on and on. So I also know that art brings problem solving, collaboration, so many skills that we need in our professions as we move forward in life. So, and I think you offer it to children and there's no fee, is that correct?
Yes, it's tuition free.
It's tuition free.
So we raise the money for it, and that's with the support of corporations, individuals, and foundations.
And if I read it correctly, it also brings the parents and the families of these students together in a more collaborative approach. So it doesn't only help them, it goes, talk a little bit about what it does for our community.
Well, it's there to involve the families, whether it's them helping with costumes, or maybe it's bringing a meal during a rehearsal for the concert. But we want them involved. It's a lot of communication with the parents to let them know what we're observing about their son or daughter, and talking with the schools. And all of that interaction is necessary in order to take an interest in the student and see that the development is there. Because it's not about singing on key.
Now.
It's about having the self-esteem to dig down inside yourself and find something you'd like to share with the world.
Right. So it's got so many incredible tentacles to a solid foundation. Eric, I think we have a few photos, don't we, that we can share with our audience of some of these students. Do you have any success stories that you want to share, like where you've really seen someone really bloom?
Well, we have we have a student who's a 7th grader who has won awards in his school. And last year, his class was assigned to write a letter to President Obama. And they did, and the president wrote them back.
Wow.
So the principal of the school wanted to include that in their year-end assembly.
Right.
She chose him because she knew that he was in the ASK program. She figured he would be good at public speaking, and so he did that for his school.
Isn't that great? And that probably motivates the other students that see that, like, hey, I want to be part of that too. Are we flashing? Yeah, some of these great images.
That's of the one of our new aspects of ASK. In August, we grew to form the Klein Dance Company. And so regular ASK meets 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after school. We have added the Klein Dance Company, which meets an additional hour and a half each week to rehearse their own routines. And since August, they've made 6 public appearances in Bridgeport.
Oh, really? And where did your students go when they went to the Apollo in Harlem? I read a little bit about that.
We had, this was 2 years ago, they auditioned for Amateur Night at the Apollo, the same program that discovered Ella Fitzgerald.
Isn't that
And
something?
they auditioned on a rainy Saturday afternoon. They stood outside in the rain for about 3 hours, came in, did their audition, and we were told, well, maybe in a year, if there's a spot. Well, they called about 6 weeks later and said, we'd like to have you in June. And so we did. We had 8 students go down to the amateur night at the Apollo.
Isn't that great?
And here the town turned out. Parents and their friends joined the group that went down. We actually, the box office manager at the Apollo couldn't believe it. She goes, you got 98 tickets.
They definitely want you back in the future. So how many students do you think you're serving?
Well, now we've grown to where regular ask is about 60 students.
Mm-hmm.
There's duplication in the dance company, but there are 22 in the dance company.
Is there an average cost that you could give us that is required to put each one of these 60 through?
It's about $600 a student.
Okay.
And it's, overall, it's over $100,000 to do this program.
Right.
The third component that we added in January was a technical production course where 2 union stagehands are teaching basics in audio, lighting, and set construction. Right now, they're finishing the touches on our float for the Bridgeport parades this summer.
Wow.
And 2 of those students will receive paid internships during the summer. So it could lead to careers down the line.
That's incredible. We're going to go to a quick break, but could you give us our website, your website, so we can send people there?
It's www.theklein.org.
.org. So all the guests and the people that arrive on the drive are not paid, but I will say I encourage our audience to go ahead and check out the Klein and participate in some of these upcoming fundraisers and donate. $600 is so well worth it if we change one life that betters our community. It's the drive, how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit, that creates the lifestyle you live. We hope you fuel it well here every Tuesday with us on The Drive on the HN Network. We'll be right back.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com. At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference.
Wild Birds Unlimited, your one-stop shop for all your backyard bird hobby needs. Premium bird seed, freshly delivered each week. A great selection of bird feeders, houses, a patented pole system, bird baths, and a vast array of wonderful gifts of whimsy and nature. Visit us at 356 Heights Road in Darien, next to the post office, and across from Norotan Heights Railroad Station. Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
I often say, my grandmother would always tell me, you can't be a success unless you make someone else a success. And so many great things happen in our community. I'm so honored to have people on like Laurence Caso, the executive director of the Klein, share with us some of his leadership and what he's doing to change our community. The Klein is like this hidden gem with all these events and so many beautiful things that you're doing for the community. You've got this upcoming event called Footsteps to Peace.
Footsteps of Peace, yes.
Of Peace.
Yes.
It's talking about equality, and tell us about this event. I want everyone to know about it so they can actually plan it in to go.
Footsteps of Peace, this is the second concert we've had under that banner. And it's the creation of a wonderful musician named Joel Martin.
Right.
And the concept is that professional musicians in, this time it's gospel, classical, jazz, and even rap, come together.
What a combination.
Yeah, it is. On the Klein stage to promote the values of peace and equality.
Something we need today.
And, you know, going back to my Mark Twain days,
Right.
he had a great line where he described cauliflower as cabbage with a college education. I liken Footsteps of Peace as Woodstock with a master's degree.
Okay, got that visual.
So it's people coming together, musicians coming together way below their performance rates because they want to bring the community together and inspire.
And inspire. Hopefully create some peace. So what does that day look like this year?
Well, the concert is held on Friday, April 28th at
Just
8
around the
p.m.
corner?
Just around the corner.
Everybody remember that.
And it's great. The music is outstanding. In addition to the genres, the rap that I mentioned are two young 18-year-old rappers, clean rappers from Holyoke, Massachusetts, that in their school cafeteria, they shot a video about anti-violence that has right now gotten 900,000 views on YouTube. They've become a sensation. They're about to sign with a record label. So they're coming in to perform. Bridgeport native singer-songwriter Rick Reyes, who, among other things, specializes in the Puerto Rican songbook, is going to perform. And then Joel, who is Kathleen Battle's accompanist and outstanding musician in his own right, recording artist and whatnot. We have Grammy-winning artist Eugene Friesen.
Wow.
Jolie Rock Brown, the great gospel singer from Hartford.
Is it fair to say then this is a program for all ages?
It is.
Very diversified.
And in fact, part of the way we're bringing the community together, we did an aspect for children, school children. We ran an essay contest.
Okay.
Students from 8 Bridgeport middle and high schoolers submitted essays with one-page essay on what does a free society mean to you and how can it be preserved.
Wow, incredible.
And 2 of the high school essays and 2 of the middle school their writers will each receive $100 scholarships, and some of them will read their essays during the concert.
And how long is the concert?
The concert's going to run about just under 2 hours.
That's really wonderful. And we can buy tickets online at the Klein?
At theklein.org.
Can you get them at the
You
door?
can come to the box office. You can get them at the door. You can also call our phone number.
Okay, terrific. And there's a few other events that are very important that are coming up that also foster community wellness, I'll call it. What are they?
Well, we have Fairfield Theater Company is presenting 2 upcoming shows. May 25th, we have Little Feet.
Yeah.
And on September 23rd, Rodriguez, the musician and singer that was featured in Waiting for Sugar Man, that great documentary.
That's wonderful.
Later in the year, the return of the Vienna Boys Choir
Which
on
I think
December 2nd.
That's a must-see as
Indeed.
well.
And wait for our announcement, but this is a big one. In September, we're going to have a world premiere of a play that is going to Broadway with an all-star cast.
Wow.
It's
Is this like a secret you're revealing here on the
well,
drive?
I can't reveal the cast yet
Okay.
because the ink isn't dry yet.
Okay.
But the dates are pretty well settled, and it will be 3 performances over a weekend. They will rehearse at the Klein for a week and then perform that weekend.
Wow, heard it first here on the drive, friends. That's awesome. Well, we're going to be looking for that. So if people wanted to get involved, do you seek volunteers from the community, beyond donations? What can we do to help you in your endeavors?
Some of the volunteer positions are, different times during the year, we will do training for ushers, because most events, our ushers are volunteers.
Okay.
And they get to hear all the great music and see all the great events.
Worth doing that job.
And so we do that. From time to time, those that are interested in education and the arts, we can find something with the after-school program where we can utilize some expertise and occasionally an extra pair of hands.
That's great. That's
And
wonderful.
the big thing is just to stay tuned to the website and find those events and concerts that they'd like to come to.
So beyond coming to the Klein and being of course engrossed in all the great programs, how do you motivate the people that you're leading? Like what are some of your tactics other than a good breakfast and exercise in the morning?
You mean our staff, or
Your staff
Yeah.
and the people that you know. That's a whole lot to go from 65 to 360 or 4
yeah, and the
days.
amazing thing is we haven't grown the staff.
Wow.
There are
So you're working smarter, not harder, or harder and smarter?
There are 5 of us, and 3 of them are part-time that run the Klein. That's it.
That's a super secret.
So we are a close-knit group. We're together a lot. Everybody jumps in and helps the other. We all wear so many hats that I will jump behind the concessions counter and be dishing out the drinks and the hot dogs if I see it's needed. And I like doing that. And
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity to talk to people and
See what
get
they
their
think.
feedback
Yeah.
and see what the experience is like for them. But we all do that. And there's just no protocol, no stiffness about it. It's just let's all jump in, and we know why we're there.
Passionate group of people.
They are.
Making a difference. That's wonderful. And how is it that you, and I always ask every guest this, so this isn't a trick question, how is it that you stay balanced and so full of vim and vigor? Because it's tiring, right, to be
Yeah,
doing all
physically.
that? Yeah,
Physically,
well, no, I'm just motivated in general.
well, I do have. I do a lot of exercise. I go to the gym quite a lot. I have to credit my family, my wife.
Your
our
wife's
2 sons.
incredible. We got to give her a shout out.
She is.
I meant to
She's-
ask you, how did you meet Pat? Did you meet Pat in television?
Pre-television, I met her at Syracuse.
Oh.
We were taking a class.
You were college buddies.
We were taking a film class, our first film class, and we met in the room where we could edit our little 3-minute films. And she asked me for help loading the viewfinder.
And then you said, I do.
And
Sort of.
A few years later, it happened.
Well, she's also very motivated, and
She
I'm
is.
so glad to know both
Yeah.
of you. So what's next on the wish list for Laurence? Are we going to cast that wide net today?
Well, I need to finish the documentary for public television.
Okay.
That's a 2-hour show, and hopefully it'll be on in the next year.
Okay.
It's a good one, and I want to finish it up. And for the Klein, there are things that we still have yet to accomplish. There are other groups to bring in to take an ownership. I want to grow the school program even more.
I want to grow it with you too.
We want to increase enrollment. Ultimately, probably a year from now, I'd like to run, at least during the summer, a program for adults, where adults could take acting and maybe public speaking, and maybe even something as silly as Shakespeare, where they could get involved. And if we were successful at that, we might be able to do something with adults and their kids
Wouldn't that be
in a program.
outstanding?
So I think that after school at the Klein umbrella of arts education can be broadened
Right.
to really bring in all age groups in fun and interesting ways.
That is fabulous. Well, I hope that you'll join us again next year around this time and let us know
Oh, I'd be
what's going
delighted.
on at the Klein. We'll be so pleased to see the growth. And we will see you at Footprints of Peace.
Footsteps of
Footsteps
Peace, April 28th.
April 28th. Theklein.org. You
And
can
if-
follow them on social media too. You have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feed?
And Twitter.
Right. I hope that you'll check it out, guys. I think it's incredible, and I hope that you'll come back. Thank you so much,
Denise.
Laurence. It was great to have you
Okay.
today.
Thanks.
Okay, everyone, that's a wrap. I hope that you found this motivating, and I hope that you've got a project that you've been wanting to start, that maybe this gave you a little motivation. At the very least, I hope you'll check out the Klein and join in what is a community gem. Let's move each other forward. It's how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit that creates the life you live. Fuel it well. We all move together happily. Thanks. We'll see you next week.